Hello, hello. Have you ever wondered, can Mounjaro cure type 2 diabetes? I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. When I found out I was a type 2 diabetic, my blood sugar level was at a 7.6%. Since taking Mounjaro, within 3 months, my blood sugar level had gotten to a 6.3. Then it went to a 6.1%, and currently my A1C is at a 5.9%. So my goal with the help of Mounjaro is to continue reducing my A1C. Mounjaro, also known as Tirzepatide, is not a cure for type 2 diabetes. Let me repeat, it is not a cure for type 2 diabetes, but it is one of the most effective treatments available. Mounjaro helps control blood sugar levels, promote weight loss, and improve insulin sensitivity, which can lead some people to experience remission of diabetes. However, remission is not the same thing as a permanent cure. You may be wondering, how does Mounjaro help with type 2 diabetes? The first thing it does is lowers your blood sugar. Mounjaro mimics two hormones, GLP-1 and GIP, that help stimulate insulin release and reduce glucose production in the liver. This leads to better blood sugar control. Number 2, by reducing insulin resistance, Mounjaro makes the body's own insulin work more effectively, helping your cells to absorb and use glucose properly. Number 3, it slows down digestion and reduces your appetite. Mounjaro slows down how quickly food leaves your stomach, helping prevent blood sugar spikes and reducing hunger, which supports weight loss. Number 4, it promotes weight loss. Since obesity is a major driver for type 2 diabetes, losing weight can improve your blood sugar regulation and even put diabetes into remission for some people. So, can Mounjaro cure diabetes? While some patients experience diabetes remission, which means your normal blood sugar levels without medication, stopping Mounjaro can lead to a return of high blood sugar if your diet and lifestyle changes aren't maintained. So let me stop here because I've heard a lot of people say, if Mounjaro is helping your diabetes in remission, why would you ever consider getting off of Mounjaro? Well, I am one of those people that believe, and I am praying that I can maintain my healthy lifestyle choices and manage my diabetes without the medication. But I will say, a girl has a right to change her mind. And if I am not able to keep my diabetes in remission, I will definitely take the medication. So remember, Mounjaro is a powerful tool for managing type 2 diabetes, but maintaining long-term health requires a combination of medication, diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes. So if you are a type 2 diabetic, I hope you will consider taking Mounjaro or making some kind of change to improve your lifestyle. We've established that Mounjaro isn't necessarily a cure for diabetes, it's a treatment. But is there a cure for diabetes? Continue watching to find out the answer. If you are enjoying this video so far, subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed and join me on my journey. But type 1, when you have type 1 diabetes, the body doesn't make insulin at all. Diabetic, they're not making that insulin. It reminds me of Halle Berry. I know she is a type 1, but type 2, your body does make the insulin, but it doesn't work very well. So they said it's like having a key that's rusty when you're a type 2 diabetic, which I could relate to that. And then when you're a type 1 diabetic, because you're not producing insulin at all, you have to take insulin. You have to take those shots forever. And then if you're a type 2, sometimes it can be controlled by healthy habits and medication. For me, I am using both of those, a little bit of both. Not a little bit, I guess I'm all in with the medication and the lifestyle changes. So that's how I'm managing mine. I remember when Sherry Shepherd was on The View and she came out that she was a type 2 diabetic and she did this healthy lifestyle change. And I thought I remember, now I could be wrong, Sherry, if you're out there and you get a hold of this one of these days. But I thought that she was saying hers was reversed, right? And so I just researched what the researchers say. How can you reverse type 2 diabetes? It's really all lifestyle changes, weight loss, healthy eating, especially protein, vegetables, lean protein, fewer sugary foods and processed carbs can lower the blood sugar, exercise, reducing your stress, and then, of course, medication. Some patients need medication. A combination of all those things are going to help you reverse it. But it says, is it gone forever? Even if the blood sugar levels go back to normal, type 2 diabetes can return if the healthy habits aren't followed. And that's why they say it's in remission instead of a cure. A cure means you can never get it again. It's what they're considering a cure. Being reversed or being in remission means that as long as you're maintaining the healthy lifestyle changes and you're maintaining that status quo, you won't get it back. But as soon as you slip up, you're back being a diabetic. So that is the difference. So there technically is no cure because you can always get it again. So that is the difference. So I thought, wow, that's interesting. And I can see how it makes sense. So basically, you're managing it. So people who, I guess, when I get my blood sugar level, let's say if I get it to 5.0, and then I guess I will not be considered a type 2 diabetic anymore, but I will be considered in remission. I would not be considered cured because if I don't keep it up with whatever I'm doing, it could come back. Just so you know, just for out there for anybody, I've known people who had diabetes years and years ago, and they really didn't do much about it at the time. They just said, "Oh, I feel good. I'm not taking medication or whatever." And then over time, they started to get worse and worse. And then they started taking the medication. But by that time, it was too late because the body had already started, doing its damage. And my message would be to anybody who suspects they have high blood sugar or who doesn't, if you don't know what your blood sugar level is, I would go and get it checked out. I would get your fasting blood glucose checked. I would also get your A1C checked. And you have to go to a doctor, but you don't have to have a doctor to go there. They have clinics, they have different places, I'm sure around your town, your city, your state where you could go. They also have free health checks at different places. I remember years ago I used to go to the grocery store and this is at this time I wasn't anywhere near diabetic, and I would just get my blood checked just to know. And I always was prided myself on having like great blood sugar levels. So it's like it just all went out of whack, right? It just all went out of whack. But I was priding myself on that. So I would definitely get checked out because that blood sugar is it's key, right? It's damaging your blood vessels as we speak if you're not doing anything about it. It makes me want to be a lot more on top of my health hearing about his struggle because again, he had all the money in the world and he was in denial about his health, which I think a lot of us admit that we were like that too before we started taking our GLP-1 medication. So, whatever your wake up call was, or if you're waiting for your wake up call, it could be people out there listening that's waiting for a wake up call. If you're waiting for your wake up call, let this be your wake up call. Let that be your wake up call. No matter how much money you have, no matter how good you look, no matter how cool you are, you can't cure diabetes. You actually have to do something about it. You can't just wait. And I know, people just take a pill too. A lot of times people will take that pill what is that, metformin. I know a lot of people who had told me, oh, you just need to take the pill and it'll control your blood sugar and you'll be fine. And I thought, to me, it reminded me of putting a Band-Aid on a scar, right? The scar is still there. The Band-Aid is just covering it up temporarily. And I just did not want to do that. But I know a lot of people have that thought, oh, I'm just going to take a pill and I'll be fine. And I think they don't realize the pill is just putting a Band-Aid over it. It's not really curing it, right? And so over time, next thing you know, you're having all these severe issues with your organs when it's something that you could have treated before you got to that point. That's just my little PSA out there for people. Go get your blood sugar level checked. Go get your A1C checked. Go to the doctor. If you don't have a doctor, go to a clinic in your area. I think you can even do that at like urgent care. They'll just take your blood and do your blood sugar and all of that. Get your blood pressure checked. That's another thing you can do. And you can monitor those things at home. I do realize that, but I think it's, especially if you're somebody who hasn't been going at all, I think it's important to go to a healthcare provider so that they can basically support you. You know what I'm saying? Explain it, break it down, what this means, what it doesn't mean. Downsizing.